Hello guys, this is Little Lady, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make, if you have made this before you could probably guess, I'm going to make macarons, almond macarons. We got our coffee, we have our processor, cookbook, an extra bowl, we're all ready to go. So first, I'm going to get 1 cup of almond flour. Alright, so we have about a cup. This doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be pretty close to perfect. We're going to put that in the food processor. But we need to add some sugar in here, because if you just process pure almond flour, it could potentially turn into almond butter. You don't want that. So now we need a total of 1 3/4 cup of powdered sugar. I'm only going to put 1 cup in here because my processor is mini. And then we'll do the rest of the 3/4. Okay, so here we have our sugar and almond flour. Put the top on, and we're going to just process. Basically, just process this as much as you can. You need it to be really fine. Alright, so I processed this, and we're going to spill out half of it, because we need to add another 3/4 cup of sugar, and we could use that to blend in the rest of that almond flour in there. This is going to go straight into a sifter. Put most of it in here, and then leave like the bottom half, or a little less. Okay, now we're going to basically just mix this and unstick the almond flour from the sides and add in that other 3/4 cup of powdered sugar. Okay, so I put all of my powdered sugar and almond flour in here. It's already processed, and we're going to sift it into this bowl. And also, we're going to add a little bit of salt, just like a pinch, because that kind of helps with the baking process, I guess, and it adds some flavor. So now just sift this into the bowl. When you're done sifting, you'll see like little crumbs here that are too big to go through, and you could just, get that out. It's actually pretty tasty to just eat them, but save that. You could throw this. So now we're gonna set this aside, leave it here, cover it, and we're gonna get 2 bowls and 3 eggs. You're gonna put the yolks in here and the egg yolk and egg whites. The egg whites in here, okay? And I do this in these 2 bowls instead of just the mixer, because if you do mess up, you put a tiny bit of yolk in something, it will mess up the mixture. So do not break that egg yolk. If you do, you have to start over. Alright, so I put my egg whites in here, and we have our egg yolks here. You don't need this. You can use this for making your own eggs. You can make like custard with it, whatever. But you don't need these for the macarons. So you just need these. We're now going to just put this on the mixer. Alright, so I put this on the mixer stand, and I'm going to put a little bit of salt in there. And then we're going to put a little bit of cream of tartar powder. This kind of helps the egg whites stay nice and fluffy. Just put a little bit of that. There you go. Alright, and now you mix this. And then after this has formed soft peaks, we're going to add gradually 1/4 cup of regular granulated sugar. So as you see, This is getting pretty white. Alright. So I'm going to start adding that sugar gradually. Just keep doing that until soft peaks form. Okay. So as you can see, this is kind of like soft peaky. I don't know how to describe it. But it's like stickier. And what you do is you now add your food coloring and add some vanilla flavor, just a tiny bit on the tip of a knife of this stuff because that's strong. Too much would make it taste really bad. But then you add your food coloring. You should use gel food coloring. Today I'm going to make my macaroons light pink. So I'm going to use red and pink gel food coloring. Or neon pink. So I'm just going to put a little bit of it in here. And I want them light pink, so I'm not going to put too much. Okay. And then we mix this and see if that color is good. When it bakes, the color turns much lighter than it is here. So just make it the color that you want. And that's turning light pink. Be careful not to overmix this because it will mess up your whole shell. Okay, so you can tell that these peaks are not the stiffest yet, but they're churning pretty stiff. Okay, so do not overmix these and don't undermix them. And that's the hardest part. That's why macarons are kind of hard to make because the beating is a little tough. Let's see if it's ready. These peaks are pretty stiff actually. And one good way to kind of tell is putting the bowl upside down. If it stays there, then that means it's almost ready. Alright, so this is high peaks, and that indicates that it's good. And I'm not going to lie, that was the hardest part. This is probably going to indicate if your macarons are going to work or not. So that's the thing about macarons. You could be expecting it to work, and they probably won't turn out a lot of the times, which is kind of sad. You just have to try over and over again. Alright, so now we're going to re-sift this almond sugar mixture into here. The whole thing. This is so pretty right here when you sift it in there. And this is why I re-sift, because there's still stuff on the bottom after you sift. And you could just throw that out. Okay, now we're going to fold this into the egg mixture. And you're going to do this very carefully. I basically just slide my spatula through and kind of incorporate the flour. You have to be really careful. Don't be deflating it yet. This part's also very important. So keep folding that and like cut it in half. And then it's gonna be a little bit tougher to mix. But you just gotta keep mixing until it's like lava. And I like to get everything off the side. You can tell that now that it's very airy. And we're just gonna try to keep incorporating all of that flour. You could also tell that it's kind of deflating, and that's what it's supposed to be doing. But right now, don't push out all the bubbles. Just wait till all that flour is dissolved. Now you could kind of squish out the bubbles. And you could tell that this is kind of turning into a lava mixture. It's kind of flowing a little more slowly. So now your primary job is to just get all those air bubbles out. It's basically your job. Look at that. That's like lava. And you're gonna keep doing this until this can flow without breaking. And it's still breaking right now. So you need to keep doing it. And your arm is probably gonna hurt. This is an arm workout. Especially if you make more than one batch. It's getting closer. Still not ready. And also you could see if that, if those ribbons would kind of disappear into the mixture. That's also a sign that it's ready. But do not overmix this. Once this starts flowing like this, that means it's ready. And I think this mixture just needs like a few more little mixes because it's ready. Look at that. That's flowing like ribbons. Now I'm going to see if it kind of disappears into the batter. That's kind of exactly what it's doing. If you wait for like 30 seconds and these ribbons kind of disappear or like, you know, flatten out, then it's ready. So I think this mixture is pretty close to done. So now I put the mixture into a piping bag. We're just going to pipe it into these little circles. Today is not a good day to cook macaroons because if you have a high humidity, they might not rise properly. So we'll see how they turn out. I hope they do, but I'm gonna let them sit a long time. By sitting, I mean after you pipe them, you should let them rest for like 30 minutes to an hour or more. And you can see these are still shiny. We're looking for like a matte color, so I'm just gonna wait. Since it's raining, I'm gonna wait a lot longer too. Okay, so now the macarons are pretty matte. So like the shell is pretty much dry. And I put the oven to 280 degrees. If you have a convection oven, make sure the fan is not on, because that can like rotate them to be not even. And then I cook these for probably 18 to 19 minutes, one pan at a time. You can see some of mine did crack. 6 of them cracked in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The rest of them look okay. I mean, they're not supposed to be this round, and they should have a bigger bottom, but I'm not complaining. Usually my first batch like does have some cracked ones because it weights the least. And I'm hoping that none other ones would crack. This is like the worst part about making macarons. You really don't know until you bake them. Now I got some fresh raspberries. And I put some lemon and sugar in there, and I'm just gonna make this into a jam. So I'm squeezing all of them, and I'm just gonna boil it until it's thick. Alright, these raspberries are cooling in cold water. You just leave them here to cool, and then I'll do the butter. Now do 1 stick of butter, and just mix that.